Uju.
Running to you. I'll be running to you. Running to you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Naija Health Radio, your wellness companion. We are live on the studio on the Love Lounge. I love love. And thank God it's Friday. And of course, I am not alone, as you can see. I have two beautiful humans with me. To my left, I have Samson. How are you doing, Samson?
I'm doing well, and you?
Very well, thank you. And to my right, I have Uju Umeozulu, a human resource expert. Uju da Uj. Yo.
Nice being here today. Hello, Samson.
Hi, Uju.
We're really glad to have you guys on the show. Thank you once again for coming. And guess what, guys? The topic for today, interesting, I must say. We'll be talking about office romance. Yes, you heard me. Office romance, the pros and the cons of office romance. Now, I stumbled on an article written by Alison Dole, where he says that workplace romance can lead to long-term relationships and even marriage, but they can also result in uncomfortable situations for the people involved as well as their co-workers. Now, a Viking study reports that 74% of UK office workers aged between 25 and 34 said they have been involved in office romance. The majority of them would consider doing so again, even though they felt it impacted work. Now, 53% would consider a relationship with a colleague in the future, while 29% have had a one-night stand with a co-worker. Wow. 52% believe office romance decreases productivity and creativity. Now, Samson,
Yeah?
office romance, what do you have to say about that?
Well, for me, there's what they call sea finish. You understand what I'm saying? You know, when you start getting entangled, like, in that aspect with a colleague, the work will lag somehow.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Somehow it will. Consciously or subconsciously it will. So that's my own perspective.
Okay. Would you? Office romance.
Thank you, Ogo. Okay, first of all, I would like to, define what office romance is. At least let us have a feel of what office romance is, even though, as the name implies, office romance, romance in the office, but we need to really, get to the nitty-gritty of what office romance is. So, what is office romance? Office romance is nothing but the involvement of two staff members working in an organization. It could be the same department or different departments, and then who have romantic relationship with each other. Okay, the truth of the matter is that office romance is actually inevitable because a lot of factors can actually lead to office romance. You're working long hours with your colleagues, 8 to 5 every day. We're humans. You just see someone, you like the way he
And
walks,
you're attracted
or
to
you like the
him
way
or her.
and you're attracted to him or her. So it's bound to happen. And then in situations where you have, colleagues have to travel together for long-term projects, 2 weeks. Imagine me and Samuel now, we just traveled to Abuja, Hilton. We're there for 2 weeks,
And he's your kind of guy. And she's your kind of.
Yeah,
Devil could set in.
I'm just
devil, yeah.
So
This one that has nothing to do with devil.
yeah, so the factors that lead to office romance could be, as a result of working long hours and both of you working together on same project. I'm just giving the instance now. We're together on a project for 2 weeks. in the hotel, cozy atmosphere. I mean, in the evenings after our projects. If we are single, even though let me leave it at that. If we are single, yeah. So if I am attracted to you, I mean that's how it starts. Hey, we just found now. Okay, meet me up for a drink, and then body no be wood. You understand? And that's how it really starts.
So you're saying that office romance is something that is bound to happen, because
it is bound to happen.
You can find someone attractive in your office environment. This is your spec. This is the kind of person that you want to have something to do with, that you want to have a relationship with, and if possible, lead to marriage. You understand? Like you said, you're spending most hours seeing the same person. You understand? You're most hours seeing this person, and it's possible they are even within the same workspace. For 5, okay, so you come in 8 a.m. and you close 5 p.m. You're looking at Samson. This is your laughter. Do you have something to say?
Not yet.
No, the way you are laughing. So, have you experienced office romance before? Has it happened to you before?
Well, personally, since you asked, let me share my experience.
Good. Because the way you were laughing, I knew that there is more to this laughter.
Actually, it happened then when I was still way much younger.
Good.
After high school, I just have to get busy doing one thing or the other. And there's this executive, she's the assistant to the director that I was reporting directly to. She was giving me the attitude, but naive as I was then, I could not understand what she meant.
Can you stress more on the attitude that she was giving you?
Like, at first, it started like, going to our office to present one thing or the other, showing me the kind of likeness that I should have understood what she wanted. But as naive as I was then, I did not. And at some point, she started giving me this aggressive attitude. And she was aggressive to the point that I just have to resign.
Wow, was it that bad?
Yeah, because anything I do then, I didn't do it well. So it was later.
I was going to ask, so at what point did you know it was?
It was later.
It was
I now
because
talk to
of-
people that are more matured.
Okay.
They now told me, this probably could have been what she wanted, and I was not responding favorably. And she got angry.
And decided to
be
deal
aggressive
with you.
You understand what I'm saying?
I can understand. Did you have any experience about office romance?
I don't have any experience.
Or maybe a story, someone that you know has experienced something like that. And what did it do? Was it good? Was it bad? Did it turn out well or not?
I can't think of
You can't think of anyone. So let me share one, okay? So, office romance is the one I experienced is a bad thing. That's why I said, in fact, I'm going to write a book about it. Wow. So I was working somewhere, and a senior colleague was really, really interested in me. He was making all the passes, but unfortunately, he was not the type of my guy. So I turned down
You turned him to Lagbaja, nothing for him.
Yes, Lagbaja, not. So when it got really bad because I was reported to him directly, and you know what that means, appraisal time and all of that. So at a point he told me straight, you can't work with me directly because I can't stand looking at you every day, and what I'm asking of you, you're not giving it to me, so I have to redeploy you to another department. And guess what, guys? This man put me in a terrible, when I say terrible, office. Oh my God. He made life miserable for me in that organization. So this is my own experience of office romance. It wasn't good at all. But for some people, I know some people, it went down well with them. I have a friend that it really, okay, she at the time she was a banker, and then she met her husband now in the bank. They were working together, and they found themselves compatible. They were attracted to each other, and they started. But it was against the banking, yes, policy that you shouldn't. So when they wanted, when they were sure that they were going to get married, they had to. One of them had to resign, and they're happily married today. Now let's look at the pros and the cons. You're an HR human resource expert, so let's have the pros and cons of office romance. What would you tell us? Let's start with the pros.
Okay. I was going to discuss it side by side. So
Okay, please, whichever way you feel
yeah,
comfortable, let's do it your way.
okay, yeah. So the truth of the matter is that everything has a pro and a con. You understand? So I mean, office romance is no exception. Okay, so looking at the pros of office romance, I would say that first of all, imagine two couples, so to speak, working in an organization. I mean, they are dating. It could be the same department, different departments. I mean, it's natural that for most people, that situation will boost workplace energy. Because having in mind that, my boyfriend is here, I mean, you have to be
putting your best.
Yes, I have to be, top notch all the time. So it actually boosts workplace energy. And then on the other hand, your career could be at risk, in as much as for HR, it is not, is non-ethical, okay? Even though I know in the Western world, now we're talking about office romance, okay? Even though I know in most parts of the Western world they have policies, but I guess we'll discuss that later. But sometimes it could even affect, just like the example you said now, affects your promotion and relationship. Imagine him taking you to another department, terrible department. If you were reporting directly to
I
him.
was reporting directly.
So I mean, for such a situation during appraisal, it's just going to be.
I just don't want to go into full details.
You
I need to write a book.
So on one hand, it could boost workplace energy. On the other hand, it could affect promotions and what have you. On both sides. Now this is direct. You and your team lead. Then, as if for an organization that doesn't support it, I mean, it could also affect promotion too. And then for some breakups, when breakups happen, it can be disaster, very toxic. Imagine me breaking up with someone, we're working in the same place, like, you won't even concentrate. Your heart will be racing, let me not
I
dwell
will
on
see
that.
every time.
You'll be sick every time.
As in, we'll see
every time. Oh,
So another advantage is it actually motivates. It motivates the couple. Bearing in mind that I mean my spouse is here or my boyfriend is here. It just makes them want to work better. And then on the other hand, it could be complicated. You could lose focus. Imagine my boyfriend walking in when I'm brainstorming and giving me a wink. For that kind of a person, if you're the kind of person that your body is not together,
easily distracted, and they wink at you. And maybe you people have a meeting place.
This thing keeps happening. You just find out that it will make you lose focus at work. You will not be able to concentrate, And then another advantage is it could be creative. There are some creative aspects to it, If you see lovebirds that are really in love, working in the same organization, they just put in their best at everything. They want people to know that, it is us. Uju and Sam did it well in this context.
Because Samson is the way you are going about it, Uju.
No, it's
I
not
don't know.
Yeah, so I need to.
I don't know.
Keep using that as an example.
It's just an example.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on
Let's
the other hand, team confusion, gossips, and all of that. You just imagine these people. Maybe you're just coming back from maybe lunch or something. Who knows where they're coming from? They've gone to, I don't. it just brings up a lot of stuff, and you don't want to hear the kind of gossips that go on. So again, everything just on the advantage aspect of it. It's more like productivity, the productive aspects of it. On the disadvantage, it can also affect your work performance. You just lose focus, like I said initially. And then teamwork and cooperation, one of the advantages. And then the disadvantage is conflict. If you are the one dating your boss, I mean, just imagine, you would always be favored in so many things, and everyone around will know that. I mean, this man is really taking sides. Everything, it just makes it happen for this lady.
Uju, do you know what? We'll be right back after this musical break. I see the energy. I know you have a lot to tell us. Samson, also get ready. So, guys, stay tuned. We are going on a musical break. We have Running to You by Simi. Enjoy.
More music on trendybeats.com.
Anybody will fight you, they come, they already know. I'll be right beside you, like the wall of Jericho. They don't know, they don't know, they don't know what's going on. When I kiss you, my baby boo. I'll be a soldier for you, I'm getting better in Kung Fu. You should know I got you, and you don't need to guide me too. I'll be right beside you in anything that you do. If you ever need saving, I'll be running to you, running to you. I'll be running to you, running to you. Anywhere that you go to, running to you. I'll be running to you, running to you. Anywhere that you go to.
When I'm looking for trouble, it's cause I know that I got you. Wanting more bless everybody, and it's because of your comfort. I know the time that I'm out of control. You never let go. Una kiss, my baby boo. See all the battles you'll be fighting, and I'll be right there with you. I may be small, but I'm mighty, and I go run out for you. And anybody ways I be, yeah, no be you call it a big around. And if I ever need saving, I'll be running to you.
Running to you. I'll be running to you, running to you. Anywhere that you go to, running to you. I'll be running to you, running to you.
You got the
Anywhere that you go to, you don't need to worry, anything you want.
sundown to sundown, love me don't go round down.
Hey, anytime you call me, baby, I will answer.
Any other brother, baby, make them run out.
And if you want me coming to you, I will come to
Oh, you wanna see me, baby, don't kiss me.
Tell me what you want, baby, say I'm not in my
Are you baby?
If they wanna be the Judas, if they wanna be the Pharaoh, me I cannot lay low, yo. Me I cannot do that.
Welcome back. Welcome back. That was Running to You by Simi. In case you're just joining us, you're listening to Naija Health Radio, your wellness companion. And this is the Love Lounge. The topic for today is office romance. That's what we've been talking about. You can join us on our Instagram page at Naija Health Radio. Now, Samson, before we went on the musical break, we're discussing the pros and the cons. Do you have anything to say?
Sure. The pros and cons. Let me just paint a scenario.
Please go ahead.
Imagine a situation whereby a guy and a lady, same workplace, are dating, but probably the top manager is a male and is also eyeing the same girl. What will happen? You cannot imagine.
Tell us.
You can't imagine.
Tell us, please.
It makes people fall victim. For instance, for the guys, for the men, the top management or the guy in the top management that is eyeing the same girl will be victimizing that guy.
As in,
There won't be promotion,
yeah.
no good appraisal. Even if there is a good appraisal, it will be kicked to the corner.
Because he has
Because
interest in the same.
let me say local in our local language.
Hell, unfair ìyàwó ọ̀gá. Interpret for those that don't understand
That is,
Yoruba, please.
he is going out with the boss's girl.
Oh, got you.
So that's a disadvantage.
Yeah, true. Okay.
It also works good for some people, but in most situations, it's of a negative effect. From my own observation,
Yes. Yes.
from my own observation, because, for instance, the lady dating the boss is under another employee in the same company. You know, there's this feeling that the boss is there for me. They talk to me and I know they'll go
I
report you.
will show you.
You understand what I'm saying? So, if you look at it properly, it is, from my own observation, I see the disadvantage part than the advantage.
And also, if the reverse could be the case where the Oga has two girls, two ladies that he's eyeing or he has something to do with, and they know about it. You can imagine.
They will be impressing.
You can, apart from impressing, trying to impress him,
Serious
they will be on
conflict.
each other's
Loggerheads. You know?
As in, you
Those
don't
are
want
the
to imagine
complications
what
of-
will happen. Yes,
Exactly.
it's sometimes it's so messy.
It's so messy.
It's so messy, especially when it has to do with women. When the boss is dating two women in the same organization,
happens.
and they know about it. Oh, oh boy.
It happens.
Did you have more things to say about the pros and the cons, or should we just move on to other?
Well, I guess because of
aspects.
time.
So-
So just sorry to cut you short. Just one last thing. One of the disadvantages, conflict of interest. Just imagine maybe I'm working in the finance department and my boyfriend is the procurement director. You understand? So all of them, just some
You just be
information
looking and be going.
that cannot be disclosed.
Just be
But because of that factor, when they are together,
that's
so
right.
how is it? Which amount was budgeted for? Those kind of things. So it's just so unethical, really. But maybe we'll get to that later
Okay,
when we begin to discuss the policies.
Okay, yes, I did mention earlier on that I had a friend. They were working in the banking industry and banking sector, and the guy had to resign because he wanted to. It was against the policy of the banking industry that two people, whereas if you're working in the same, I think in the same branch, you can't get married. And I know some organizations too. They have these policies in place where they don't encourage colleagues dating, having anything to do with each other. Talk more of getting married. So, would like you are the human resources and you're an HR expert. Would like you to talk about HR policies that support office romance.
Okay, thank you, Ogo. So the truth of the matter is that some companies actually support. Well, I won't say support. Some companies have policies in place. They're actually indifferent. So it's the policy that covers it. I know in the part of in the Western world, we have there are policies like workplace romance policy in place. Where it's mandatory for the employee to confess about blooming romance relationship. Taking place between yourself and your colleague and all that. So once that is in place, when a situation like maybe when they break up and sexual harassment and the guy now wants to come back, the girl could term it as a sexual harassment. You understand? So once the company knows that such policies are in place, they know how to address such issues. Yeah. So some other organizations have like policies like the no PDA policy, that's the public display of affection. They just have all sorts of policies in place. But coming back home, I know in Nigeria, well, I don't want to say Nigeria, a lot of multinationals are actually indifferent about this. I know of a friend of mine working in one of the oil and gas. herself and her spouse both work, their husband and wife. You understand? They both work in the same oil company but different departments. So a lot of multinationals actually support it. And I also know that some government parastatals support office relationship. They even encourage them to get married. Yes. Now in Nigeria, a lot of government parastatals, once they just know that these two people are dating, let me not speak vernacular.
Speak is allowed, please.
What are you guys waiting for? I mean, do this thing. They would support it.
And after marriage, sorry, do they still remain in the same office, the same branch, the same? Well, I know they transfer them.
Yeah, so for some government parastatals, they could separate them. But I know a lot of organizations, have policies in place such that you and your spouse cannot be working in the same department. So if you guys are married or are dating, well, they are two different. This story is really broad. This topic, is broad. You understand? We can actually go on and on for 2 hours discussing this and we would not finish. So, but some organizations, have policies in place such that they separate them. You could be in Abuja and then your spouse is in Lagos. You understand? And then in different departments. So that way, there are, checkmates and balances rather than you having them, in the same place and all of that. So I know that a lot of multinationals encourage that. Government parastatals, they would even sponsor the wedding, plan their shwebi. Yes, before now, I got discussing with one of my friends that works in one of the government parastatals, and she was telling me like what is applicable in their own situation. Once they know that these two people are dating, they will encourage you to get married. Help you plan the wedding, gift them, and then maybe eventually they may decide to separate them. So it's just a whole lot.
That's good, though. That's good to know.
In fact, what are we even talking about? Look at the case of Bill and Melinda. You understand? I mean, she met him, she was working for him, and eventually they got married. And that's how the foundation came up. So for that case, I mean, he is the owner of Microsoft. So, I mean, even though that's, like I said again, this topic is something that we would discuss on and on and on, and, we will never, finish discussing today, but because of time.
Yeah. Something. So, your organization, do they encourage office romance?
Presently, no, because it's not a multinational, just like she mentioned.
Okay.
You understand? I know multinationals that actually encourage that. You understand what I'm saying? But the thing they will do is probably there's an office on the island and there's another on the mainland.
Okay.
They, post them to different outlets.
Okay, if they find out that something is going on.
Something going on, or even if they're actually married.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they do.
They do. They just post them to so that they won't be. Well, I think we've said it all. We've said we've talked about the pros and the cons. We've talked about the HR aspect of this office romance. So, guys, whichever one that works for you, I wish you all the best. That's all I have to say on this topic, office romance. So, whatever works for you, please go ahead. Thank you for joining us. I have with me Samson. Thank you so much for coming. Any last word for our listeners and viewers?
Well, at this point, I'm signing out. Yeah.
Uju, and you, any last word for our viewers and listeners?
Well, I would say that
A brief one.
yeah, office romance is inevitable.
Okay.
Yeah, I know we started with that first. It's inevitable. It cannot be avoided. But I mean, you just never can
tell what might
yeah,
come out from
you don't
it.
know where you find love. So wherever you find love, I mean, follow your heart, and then the rest will be history.
Thank you so
You make
much.
me remember Rihanna's music.
We are pressed for time, guys. I need to end the show. So thank you for listening. I still remain August. Stay tuned on Naija Health Radio for more interesting shows. Enjoy your weekend.
One in my best